Welcome back to BallySpring for episode 7 with me, MrSealyp, and MrsSealyp. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back.
Hello, 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 Silly Peeps.
Yes, oh yeah, I don't say that often enough. I should do really. Silly peeps, if you're in the Discord, jump in our Discord server. That's the other thing I want to mention. There's a few things I need to mention while we're doing this one as well today. I've been remiss in my duties, my responsibilities. I haven't been plugging my merch stuff enough. I got in trouble the other day. I was talking to, because it was my, I got it wrong the other day, didn't I? Oh no. Our eldest daughter was 27 yesterday. I said she was. I said happy 26th birthday. I said she was 26. She's 27. I got in trouble. Why is this not? This was running fine earlier. Now it won't go up the hill. Right, I'm on field 2. Doing this. Okay, this is weird. Doing the ploughing contract for the McConnells, the one that we said we'd take on to thank them as a favour for letting us borrow the telehandler. So I'm just finishing this off. While I've been doing this, MrsSealyp's been doing some mowing on the various different fields at the farm, and we also off camera did 3 baling contracts. We did 2 silage ones and 1 hay one. This is ridiculous. I was saying the contract is finished. I don't get this. This was working fine and now it's struggling to pull this plough. So those are all in. I tell you what, one thing I was going to say, having 2 people playing. I know we did this when I did Ballon Road with all the guys from my Discord and they jumped on. Having multiple people doing stuff, when you're doing baling contracts and stuff like that, it makes life so much easier and so much quicker. So we've got some more hay bales, we've got some more silage bales. MrsSealyp's been doing some mowing. And what I was going to say, yes, I've been a bit remiss. I was talking to my daughter's boyfriend, Mr. Dalek JD. That's not his real name, that's his online persona. I've mentioned him a few times and we were talking about channels and stuff like that. And he said, I don't plug my merch enough. I should be plugging my merch more. And also my G-Portal. I'm a G-Portal partner. There's a whole load of us that were at FarmCon. We're all G-Portal partners. Dave at G-Portal, big shout out to Dave. Fantastic guy. Him and his family were at FarmCon. You met him, didn't you, Dave? And
I did.
I forgot his wife's name. Lovely family. He's an amazing guy. But I'm supposed to be, when I do my mod reviews and map tools and things like that, I should be plugging my G-Portal thing a lot more, and I haven't been doing it. So if you are looking for an affordable multiplayer server with great customer support, customer service, affordable, it's just a brilliant server. They work really, really well. My Discord uses them. I used them when I did Ballon Road. I'm on the standard one at the moment, but yeah, check them out. You get a discount code if you use my ref link in the description. But it's their 20-year anniversary. G-Portal are 20 years old. And if you go onto their website at the moment, they are doing some discounts for certain places around the world where you get 20% off. So that might actually be better than my ref link. I don't think you can use them both together. I don't know if you can or not. But yeah, G-Portal, check them out. Check out the merch, MrSealyp merch and stuff. I should be doing that more often, and I haven't been. And if you're not part of the Discord family, we are referred to as the Silly Peeps. You can become a Silly Peep on the Discord. Discord guys are a fantastic group of guys that will help out. If you've got any questions, problems, things you want to know, jump on the multiplayer servers, that kind of thing. So yeah, I should have been doing that. So I don't know why I'm carrying on doing this. I'm just doing it because we're doing a favour for the McConnells, but the contract is complete for them. That's why the money says 739,000. That's not my money. That's the McConnells farm. But this is the favour. So what are we doing in today's episode, MrSealyp? What did I say we were going to do? Oh yeah.
We were going to set up some MrsSealyp merch, weren't we?
Were we?
I think we should have MrsSealyp merch. What do we think, guys? Let's see if we can push MrSealyp into making some MrsSealyp merch.
What would we have?
I'm kidding.
What would we have?
Tractors that are all bashed up a bit.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah, we got some learner plates. I wonder if we could do that. Get some MrsSealyp learner plates. We could get some of those made up. That'd be a great idea.
Yeah.
Tractor learner plates.
So just to backtrack to what you were saying about G-Portal, I just want to do a big shout out to Joyce, who is David's wife. We met at FarmCon. Lovely lady. So, hi Joyce.
I don't know if she'd be watching.
Shout out, sir.
Yeah, you do, man. Yeah, what's going on? Blimey, you're doing dad jokes, you're doing your own shout-outs. I don't know what's happening.
They're not dad jokes, they're mum jokes.
Why is this not folding up? Folding is not allowed.
You're having a mare today, aren't you?
Right, so I'm turning the plough over now. Folding is not allowed while the plough is turned. Turn it back that way. Now fold the plough. Oh, yeah. I pressed the wrong button.
The wrong button.
All right.
See, guys, even the most experienced of farmers get it wrong.
I get it wrong all the time. I'm fallible. I'm just like anybody else. Believe me, I make mistakes all the time, as people well know. So we're heading over to the farm. So what we're going to be doing in this episode, we're going to be, because each episode I'm hoping that MrSealyp learns something new. We tackle something different. And again, for you guys out there, I know that some people were saying, oh, you know, you're doing the same things. And again, it's more about us chatting, a bit of banter, a bit of fun, two people, a bit of co-op, but also that MrSealyp's learning something, learning something new each time we play. So it could be one thing. I tried to get multiple things thrown in there, and we talk about all sorts of stuff. And again, whether you agree with the way I'm tackling it, the order in which I'm tackling it, it's just us having some fun. And while we're doing certain things, if I can impart any wisdom, any lessons, anything that will help MrSealyp to enjoy the game and want to play it more, then that's brilliant. That's all I'm trying to do. So we've done silage, we've done baling, and as I said before, being that we're on an Irish map, a lot of the contracts that are available are baling contracts. We've got a ton of baling contracts to do. There's a lot of grass fields, a lot of meadows, a lot of stuff like that. But what we're going to be looking at today is, we said we're going to get some sheep. We've got our goats, but we're going to get some sheep. And we've been cutting a lot of our grass fields. So what we're going to be looking at, we've done windrowing with our baling, but we're going to be looking at the silage clamp, and we're going to be looking at collecting some grass. So we're going to look at forage wagons, which MrSealyp hasn't looked at. So we've done baling stuff, but what we're going to look at is picking up loose products off the ground. We're going to look at forage wagons. We're going to bring some back so we can feed the sheep, and also we're going to start hopefully filling up the silage clamp and compacting, so we'll have a go at doing a bit of that. So something MrSealyp hasn't done before.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, of course you can.
Can we buy the sheep before we feed them?
Yeah, what did I say?
You said we're going to bring back a forest something or other to feed the sheep. We haven't got any yet.
Forage wagon. No, we can. Yeah. Well, you can sort out that. You can get yourself because you're on our farm. You're on our farm. You can get yourself a livestock trailer and go and get some sheep.
That would be cool. But let's do the silage stuff first, because I spent ages mowing the other day.
Yeah. So when we were off camera, when we finished the episode, I'll bring us back to the McConnans. MrSealyp grabbed the mowers that we bought from the McConnans and went and mowed a whole load of fields while I was starting off doing a lot of the baling contracts. Right, so that's done for the McConnans. What I'll do is switch back to our farm on the way back over. I'll shoot the farm in a moment, and yeah, we'll sort out. We're going to need a windrower because we don't own one, so we can probably lease one, and then we'll look at forage wagons. So I'll do some windrowing. You can use the forage wagon if you want, and then I'll show you the silage clamp. We'll talk about that. And also, the guys on my Discord, a few different people messaged me. I think it was Michael, Hydra. Who else? There was a few people. Might have been Heavy Metal Gaming. Message to say that on the Discord server, on there, because we're running BallySpring on the Discord at the moment. The silage clamp at the farm, they were having problems. Filling it's not a problem, compacting it's not a problem, but emptying it was leaving silage in the sidewalls that they couldn't remove. So they got to a point, I think, on one of them, they removed the silage clamp completely and put a new one in. Okay. So we'll do it. We'll give it a go, and we'll fill it up. We'll compact it, and then when it gets to a point where it's ready to use, if we get to a point when we empty it. I've got a couple of ideas at how maybe we could get rid of the silage out of it, but just as a warning, just passing on the message from the guys in the Discord that they said it could be an issue. So, hey, doesn't hurt to pass on any wisdom we come across. So, back to the farm. I walked all the way back in the end. MrSealyp is waiting. And what I have done, again, something else, I did a show on the map tool, and I showed MrSealyp when we were putting in the goat pen. To get to the field the goat pen is, you actually go along the main road, and there's a turning in off the main road into that field. But what I did was remove the fence here so we could get in from the farmyard. The other thing I did when I was bringing bales back, that's what I was going to show you. So these bales here aren't the bales we had from last time. These are the ones at the back, because when MrSealyp was picking up the bales to feed the goats, she was pushing this stack further and further back into the barn, which is not a problem. They're all still nice and neat. These were left over from the hay baling contract we did, and then these silage bales over in this barn. Hello, MrSealyp. You right?
Hello. Yes.
Yeah, these silage bales were the ones we did way back. And then we had 2 silage baling contracts, and I put all the bales over here, which is our bit of land. We've got a bit of spare land here. We've got a ton of silage bales. But when I took the last 3 off of the thing, they didn't really come off properly, and they just fell a little bit weirdly. So I might have to just have a fiddle around with those. But what I did was took out this fence section, because when I came round with the auto stack, I couldn't turn around and get into this yard properly. So I just removed the fencing. So if I come up to here now, it should be, which one is it? So all 3 and up, is it? Can't remember what it was to put it back. Or did I cut a chunk out? Oh, I might have cut a chunk of the hedge out. That might be why. So I might not be able to put that one back. But anyway, yeah. So I cleared this little bit out, so it gives us a bit of turning room here as well. So that's the situation. That's where we're at the moment. Load of silage bales over there. Load more hay bales, so we're good for feeding at the moment. But we've got a load of grass to do. So what fields did you end up cutting, MrSealyp?
I don't know what the numbers were. They were up the lane.
If you go onto your map, no, it's fine. If you go onto your map, press your options button, and then look at the farm. If you press L3, it shows all the fields we own.
Sorry, which
options button should bring you to the map, and then L3 down on the left mushroom should show you all the orange what we own. We still got those fields to do, haven't we? The harvesting. We did the cow pasture. You cut the cow pasture. You cut field 64 and 68. I did off camera. 67. Yes. Where's 67? Is that grown yet?
Just there. Yeah, I don't. That was a small field I did, wasn't it?
No. This one's 67 to our side. This one, this hasn't grown yet, so this is why we haven't cut this one. So we've done a load of mowing. The other thing I was going to do. Come with me, MrSealyp. I want to show you something. This might work, I'm not sure. Because you wanted to go doing some forestry at some point, didn't you? Come with me.
I did.
You've got how to walk? Come on, let's go.
No, sorry, I was still in the map.
Oh, sorry. I know you have problems with walking.
I'm quite good at walking as long as I take my time.
There we go. Right, so if we come around here...
You run everywhere.
I know, because it's quicker, isn't it? When you're doing stuff, it's a lot easier. So there's all the grass on this field. I mean, there's a load that's just started to grow, but there's a load of long grass around the outside that we could cut. But if we come all the way around here, I want to show you something.
Okie dokie.
I'm going to put on my help window, just because it will make it easier for everyone else to see. So this is a big field, and once the grass has grown in here, we'll have a ton more grass in this one. But we've got this hedge here that runs along the side of here. And behind this hedge, we've got some trees and a load more grass. And if we come to the map, and I'll show you on here, we're at this point here. So this hedge runs all the way down the side here, down the side of field 66. But this area here has got trees in it and has got grass. But you can't actually get to it. There's no gateway or anything. So what I was thinking was if we get a chainsaw and cut a chunk out of the hedge, or we could remove the hedge completely, that would give us access to the trees on here. So, I mean, it's not forestry as you would normally do it, but we could cut a few of these down or move some. But there's a load of grass here that we could cut as well. But again, it's just an option. It's just, you know, ideas that when you're on your own farm or you're on your own map or you're having to play around, it's utilising what space you've got, sometimes being a little bit sneaky with ground you own, and playing around with what you can do with it. I mean, you could take that hedge out and we could put more buildings in there. We could take a few trees out, cut the stumps out. We haven't tackled forestry yet, but we will do some forestry at some point. So I know you wanted to have a go. It's one thing that SILAGE didn't want to do, was vehemently against it, and then ended up doing it and loved it. So, hey, you never know. You might enjoy doing it. So what we're going to do is we need to get a windrower, and we need to get a forage wagon. So if you go into the vehicle menu, so if you press the paddle in the middle.
Yeah.
And then go L1 or R, so you go R1 down to tools.
Yes.
Right, and then go down or into the menu until we get to forage wagons. So it should be from the top, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 down and 3 in.
Yes.
Right, click on that. So forage wagons are trailed, and they have a pickup on them, so that when you've cut grass and normally windrowed it, you do get some forage wagon mods that have a windrower built in, which are pretty cool. And
Okay.
there's one which is actual. It's an animal trailer that has a forage. It has a mower and it has a pickup in it as well. And they use them a lot in Ireland, and that's for on-demand feeding of cows. So rather than putting stuff into a silage clamp, if you want to feed the cows fresh grass, they will take the trailer out, and it's got a built-in mower and pickup. They will cut grass, take it back, and feed them straight away. So the grass is nice and sweet, nice and fresh, and you can leave your grass fields growing. You haven't got to store it anywhere. But these ones are forage wagons. So what these will do, the pickup drops down, and these will pick up a grass swath off the floor. I mean, they will do all sorts. They'll do grass, they'll do termite ration, straw. You can use them for all various different things, but we're going to use them for grass. The
Okay.
problem is we haven't got a huge amount of money, so I'm just thinking size-wise, you want to get one that's going to be...
Quite expensive, aren't they?
They are expensive to buy. We're only going to lease one. I'm just
Okay.
thinking, but also we don't want to, if we get one too big, because we're on a small farm with small gate entrances, the bigger you go, the harder it's going to be
Yes.
to maneuver. So I would say the largest we're going to be able to go up to is probably the Pertinger Farrow. And again, there are tons of modded options for this as well. There's also options where you can get like a forage pickup header, which goes on the front of your tractor, and then you have a normal trailer behind, and it literally picks up and it throws it. You know, like we saw the forage wagons up at yeah.
Yes.
So a forage wagon, a forage harvester. So the big forage harvester has that big pipe, and it throws it all into the trailers behind or to the trailers to the side. It's a similar sort of thing as that, but you put it on your tractor. So it will just throw all the grass or whatever you're picking up into a trailer behind you. But we're just going to go with the standard forage
Okay.
wagon. I reckon the Farrow might be all right. 26,000 litres. The Zalon is 23,000 litres. A big difference in price. When you go 23,000 litres is 46 grand. 26,000 litres, it's only 3,000 litres more. It's not a huge amount.
It's
70,500.
a lot of money.
We'll go with the Zalon. We'll lease that. I didn't switch
So
back, did I? Oh, I didn't switch back farms. Hang on, I'll do that.
could I lease it?
You want it, yeah, you lease it because you're on the farm already. I'll
How
just
do I
switch
do
back.
that then?
If you click on it and then
Yep.
click down at the bottom, it gives you the option to buy or lease. The other, oh, does it give an option for on the options? Does it give an option for a silage additive tank?
Hang on a minute. I've got it highlighted, and the options I've got are back, customize, and combinations.
So you're on the Zalon, yeah?
Yep.
So we've got right. If you go over to the right-hand side where it says configurations, see on the screen it says configurations right on the right-hand side.
Yes.
Right. If you go down to the bottom, there's one that says silage additive tank. So you're going to learn something else with this as well.
Yes.
Right.
You want
So,
that?
so if you put that on, and
Hang
then
on,
you
hang
go,
on.
so
How
just
do I
click
put it on?
left or right on the D-pad. Then it will say yes or no. You want it on yes.
Okay, done that. Yep.
And then you want to click on square to lease.
Oh yes, look at that.
So you've leased it.
960.
That's
Yes.
perfect. That's not too expensive at all. So what we'll do is while we're on here, I'll go to windrowers, and I'm going to pick up a windrower. I don't want anything too big, too crazy, because I'm going to use a little Ford 80 horsepower. That should be enough, I think. Is that a double? It is. I'll lease that. Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to head back over. So we've leased both of those. So
We need
yeah,
to drive to pick them up.
so silage additive. If you're running a forage harvester and you're doing grass pickup, the silage additive helps condition it, helps it to break down and stuff like that. Improves productivity of it. In game,
Okay.
if you use silage additive when you're doing grass bales or you're doing grass pickup, it gives you a 5% bonus in yield. So whatever you're going to pick up off the floor, it gives you an extra 5% on top if you use silage additive.
Okay.
So the other thing we're going to do, if I go into the menu, I'll show everyone on here. But if you go into objects, and I think I've got it under pallets, there's a few different mods. You can buy silage additive. The bond silage is expensive, 60 litres for 2,990. But if I go across to a mod I've got installed, the silage additive drum, that's only 500 for 50 litres. So it's way better getting that. You can pick it up and move it around. You can throw it in the back of a pickup. They're brilliant bits of kit. And I think the forage wagon will use one of those drums, so we'll get a bonus in anything we collect. So what we're going to do now, we're going to grab the two tractors. You're going to grab the Deutz, I'll grab the Ford. We'll head up to the store, and I'll grab the windrower, you grab the forage wagon, We'll go and pick those up, come back. I'll do some windrowing, you do some collecting, and then we'll bring it back to the silage clamp. We'll have a go at doing that, and yeah. So I'll stop recording for a moment. We'll head up. It's really weird. I'm following along next to you. It looks like you've got 6 o'clock shadow, 5 o'clock shadow. What do they call it?
What? Because I've got a hat on.
I think it's just the shading under your chin. But when I'm listening, I think that's weird. Looks like you've got stubble.
Oh, I don't like that.
No, it's fine. You haven't. It's just the way the shading's done. So MrSealyp is going to grab this, and I haven't used this yet. But because I haven't got anything on the front, I love this tractor. Oh, it's gorgeous. I do like an old tractor, me. Right, so we're going to head up. We'll see you up at the store. Oh, we'll see you back here. We'll see you back here when we grabbed it all, because we've been up to the store loads of times, you've seen. I'll show MrSealyp about the silage additive while we're up there, and we'll come back and we'll start doing some windrowing and collecting. See you in a little while. Right, we are back to the farm. We've just been having a conversation on the way back regarding... I don't want to say the phrase again. I got in trouble last time. About fine motor skills, and talking about, because MrSealyp was saying she was just adjusting her camera angle, and I said it's interesting again when you're new to the game and you've got lots of inputs, lots of controls depending on what controller you're using, that I'm at a point now, and I have been for a long time because I've been playing the game for a long time, where I will steer and accelerate or brake or whatever I'm doing, and obviously then manipulate other controls I'm doing. I will also move my camera as I'm steering and driving and moving all at the same time. It's all one fluid movement. MrSealyp is in a position at the moment where she's doing one or the other. So she will steer or move the camera, because she's having to think about all her controls and all of her inputs. She's having to think about, what do I need to raise and lower, what do I need to move, and she might steer, and then when she steers she thinks, oh, my camera angle is in an awkward position and now I need to move. So we were just saying about the fact that it becomes that thing of, it will become fluid, it just takes time. But I said, then you add into the fact that if you're making videos, you're then looking for, what's the best angle to view this from, where's the light coming from, do I zoom in, do I zoom out? There's so many other things you factor in that if you're just playing the game you don't necessarily consider. So we put some silage additive in, so MrSealyp should now be getting a 5% bonus on the forage wagon. I'm going to be doing the windrowing, and what I was saying to MrSealyp, oh yeah, the controls for the forage harvester, the best way I can liken it is it's a baler, because you've done baling, it's a baler but into a trailer. So rather than it baling up what you're putting in, it's putting in loose product, so all that grass stays in the back but it stays in there loose. So you've got a pickup, you still need to turn it on like you would do with the baler, but it doesn't wrap anything or make a bale, and you haven't got to put anything out the back of it yet. So all you've got to do is, if you remember to switch to your implement, drop the pickup, turn it on, and then all you're going to do is run along, because we did windrows before, is all you're going to do is pick up the windrows that I'm windrowing into the forage wagon. That's pretty much it. So it's just a different way of picking up product. It can be in bales or it can be loose.
Why do you windrow first then?
Because the pickup for a baler or your forage wagon is only so wide. If you went along and you were just picking up, I think it's 2 meters or 1.8, if you did a 1.8 meter wide pickup on a field you've just mown and left it all out wide like this, you'd be up and down and up and down and up and down, and it would take you forever. If you run across in a windrower first, which has got a much wider pickup, you're taking grass from all the way out here, bring it into one central point, so that when you come along with a pickup like you've got on the forage wagon, you're technically passing once but picking up maybe 8 meters width of grass. You can also you'll get windrowers that go out way bigger, 14, 18, 20 meters. There's a big old crone one, the crone Swadro, what did that go out to? It was an absolute beast, I think like 18 meters or something.
Wow.
So then once you've windrowed, again it becomes it's down to efficiencies. You're doing far less passes across the field and gaining the same result. The problem I've got here is we kind of cut right up to the trees, didn't we? So I'll do the best I can.
Is it possible to get a windrower that goes on the front of a tractor?
Yes, there are. There's a Samash one, and
do the same thing then. I could have one on the front of my tractor. I'd be windrowing and forage harvesting at the same time.
You're a smart cookie, MrSealyp. That was one of the options I hadn't thought about. It didn't even cross my mind when I was saying about the various different. Yeah, You can get front windrowers, and as I
Just
said as well,
efficiencies.
you can also get a forage wagon like you've got that's got a windrower built into it. You can also get balers that do the same thing as well, so you can windrow and bale at the same time. So yes, you can. There's a Samash front one. There might be other manufacturers that do them as well. I know in game we have always that modded. But yeah, you stick it on the front, that windrows, and you pick up. Yeah, so you could do it as a one-person operation and do it all in one pass. Which again, because I'm driving this and windrowing, farmers will do it as well to save on fuel. If you can do multiple things in one pass, you're saving fuel as well as anything else, and man hours, and so it just kind of makes sense. So what we're going to do, obviously we're not going to get all of this done in this episode, but we are, it was just again showing MrSealyp there's other ways of picking things up, so we can do loose products as well as baling, but also looking at the silage clamp and how that works. Yeah. And it's just a case of, again, learning a new skill, learning a new piece of equipment. This is going to be a tricky one to do. And we're going to do this. God, you really mowed right into the corners here, didn't you? I'll go around and do the outside first. If you just follow the windrow I've done, and then I'm not sure I'm going to get that out of there, because that's going to be a bit trickier. I might just come back the other way to do this one. What we'll try and do this time, MrSealyp, is avoid, where possible, I should have recorded it and I didn't. We'll avoid dropping into the river if that's possible. Could we maybe try and?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, you don't? No, okay. It's got very steep sides.
No, my tractor needed a wash.
Did it?
It did, yeah.
There's easier ways of washing your tractor than stick it in the river.
Yeah, I know that now. But I definitely couldn't get back out again yesterday. It has got very steep sides. But the tractor was very clean when it did come out. Every cloud and all of that.
Every cloud, yeah.
That should have been your thumbnail for the last episode.
What? Every cloud?
No, my tractor in the river.
Oh yeah, yeah. But like I said, I can't keep doing every thumbnail of some catastrophe. I have to show at some point that you're learning. Otherwise, people are like, what's he doing? She's not learning anything. How are you getting on? You'll get close to full at some point. I don't know. Are you full? You're not picking anything up. Have you noticed?
No, I hadn't. But once you said that, I'm full. So where do I go and empty this?
I looked around and thought, hang on a minute, you don't seem to be getting anywhere. I will show you. I can jump in with you, can't I? Let me just windrow this. I will come with you, and we will talk about the old silage clamp. Or silage pit, or people refer to them as different things. Let me hop in. Right, so we need to go out of here, back to the yard. So back into the farmyard, and there's, like I say, I've cut a couple of, yeah, I did actually cut a hedge out. So a couple of different ways we can get into the yard. What I'm liking as well, your speed, your control, because what you were doing was going so fast, you were losing control a lot of the time, whereas now you're a little bit more conserved with your speed, which is brilliant.
Motor skills.
All right.
No, I was only because you're in my tractor.
Oh, okay.
You didn't see
normally.
how many times I ran off the road on the way up here.
I didn't want to. I didn't want to even look. We might even get onto getting the sheep. We might have to do the sheep off camera. It doesn't matter. It's not a problem. Because we need to get another livestock trailer. I suppose at some point it'd be a good idea to buy one, wouldn't it?
Well, if we're going to keep increasing the size of the farm and we're going to get cows as well, it would make sense for us to have our own.
Yeah, so what you can do here is, rather than go round to the right and then try and get in the tight angle, I took a bit of hedge out here to the left. If I jump out, this bit here, I took this section out here.
Yeah.
So you can, as you come along here, remember you've got a trailer on the back, so you can come past a little bit and then you can turn in through here and through the yard this way. Because otherwise it means if you go around there, you've got a really tight angle, which, I mean, it's doable. You'd have to just go out and back in, and it just gets a bit of a faff. That's it. Turn this way, Rick. Whoa, 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 whoa. Easy, tiger. There you go. Follow me this way. I feel like I need the old. I feel like ground crew at an airport. I need some flashing beacons in my hand so I can guide you in. So this is going to be interesting, considering the fun and games we had trying to hook up the forage wagon. Right, so we go. Whoa, this way. Hello. We're not parking. You just come this way.
I know we're not parking, but we're telling everyone about me having trouble.
Oh, sorry. Well, okay, well, I didn't record it.
It's very difficult. It is literally. I was going to go back to what you were saying on the way to the field. It's like learning to walk again. Like when you're a child,
Stop
you
there,
have
stop
to
there, stop there,
learn
stop there. Don't go too far. Go on,
have
go on.
to do everything all at once. You have to learn to look where you're going. You have to learn to pick your feet up and put one foot in front of the other and change your view and watch, over your shoulder. It's like that. You just got to learn to do it.
Yeah, I completely agree. So what you need to do
Right.
now, this is going to be interesting, you need to swing around in the yard, so your tractor is over here, and then you've got to reverse back with the trailer into this area here, into this pit. You need to reverse right the way back, as far back into this pit as you can go. So that's going to be reversing with the trailer. Again, everything's backwards, isn't it? But you did all right with this when we did it, when we went to pick up the animals. So you need to reverse that trailer right the way back into this silage clamp. I need to open up my help menu so we can see.
Hold on, I'm just adjusting my view.
There you go, nice and gentle. Remember, I always say this, small inputs have big impacts. So inputs and impact. So a small input, big impact. So the smaller the input, the less the impact. So drive forward a little bit, just forward a little bit and then readjust. There you go. It's just because you end up jackknifing. That's it. Forward again. There you go, you'll get there. Again, the better you get it, the more it becomes a fluid movement. Now what I want you to do as well, if you jump out your tractor a second and come over here with me, because you keep over here. Oh, where are you going? You do go a long. You do go a long way around things, don't you? I'm here in the clamp. I was behind you. Silage clamp, because we're putting grass in it. Now you can put grass or chaff in here. Chaff is produced when you put grass through a forage harvester, so it just calls it chaff because it cross cuts it. We've just cut grass, so if you look in your top left, it says fill level chaff and compacting 0. So as so as you put your grass or chaff in here, some silos do take other things. There are some modded ones that will allow you to put other things into it, but just generally grass and chaff. So you put your grass in here. What you'll do is start at the back of the silo, and as you drive forward, you'll unload, because we don't want the pile too high, otherwise, because we need to compact it. So the fill level will tell you how much is in here, and then when we come back to compact it, you can only cover a silo, a clamp, once you've put as much in as you want to. So we're going to put as much grass in as we can, then you compact it. So you've got to compact it down as tightly as you possibly can. Once it hits 100%, then you can cover it. And that's when they put all that sheeting and stuff over the top of it, and then they cover it with tyres and that kind of stuff normally. So what you've got to do is you need to back up, and then you need to get to the back of the clamp, and then you need to unload what you've got in there into the clamp, and then once we've got everything in, then it'll be a case of compacting, and then we can cover it. But obviously we've got a lot to collect, and so what I might do, we might jump ahead, we might get a few more loads in, and then what we can do is once I finish windrowing, I can then come back, and while you're going out and collecting, I can compact, or while I'm going out and collecting, you can compact. Whichever way around, it doesn't matter. That's it. Straighten up your wheels now. That's it. Cool. You're doing a cracking job. Keep going back. Turn to your right a little bit. Your right. That's it. Reverse a little bit, ever so slowly. Keep to the right and reverse. That's it. Stop. Now straighten up a little bit. Come forward and straighten up. Forward. Let's just come forward and straighten. There you go. And now just reverse up. And you should be able to just do a little bit of finessing, finagling. If you go too fast, it will jackknife. Remember what I said, small inputs, large impacts. So the smaller the input, the less impact you're going to have. You can do it from there, it doesn't matter. You're in the clamp a little bit. So what you want to do now is to unload. Is it, oh no, L1, R1 and... Press L1 and R1, what options come up?
L1...
L1, R1 together.
Unload here.
Right, so L1, R1, unload here, and then drive forward a little bit, because otherwise it'll put it in one big pile. Drive forward, drive forward, drive forward. Or actually turn so you're coming out of the clamp. There you go, keep going. Right, don't go out of the clamp, otherwise it'll take it out of the clamp with you. You don't want it out of the clamp, you want to keep it in the clamp as much as possible. So what you want to try and do, so you're fully unloaded now, so drive out the clamp, and we'll observe what you've done. Drive out. Forward, that's it. Right, so jump out the tractor. So, you've got an edge to the clamp. So at the front here, you'll get to a point where what you've put in, if you come out too far, you're dumping outside the clamp. But if you come into the clamp now, it should tell you fill level. It says 23,000.
Oh,
You got
yes.
that? Right, so that's what you had in the trailer. So, and because you drove over a little bit, you've compacted it a little bit. So what you want to try and do is get further back in the clamp, because as you can see, you started unloading about halfway down the clamp. And ideally, what you want to try and do is in straight rows. So you want to reverse up into the back corner, drive forward in a straight row, then do another row forward, then another row forward. If you know you're going to fill a silage clamp, if you've cut enough grass, you're going to get millions of litres. All I do is I fill it completely. I fill from the back till it's full, then gradually work my way forward. But we're not going to have that much grass. But we need to be a bit more efficient about how we're unloading it. But that, in principle, what you've just done, unload into the silo. It tells you what your fill level is. When you've put as much grass in there as you want to, you then compact it, and then we can cover it. That's the process, and it's just rinse repeat now. But you have to make sure you don't, like I say, you don't unload out the front of the clamp, or it means we've got to get something with a bucket to pick it back up and put it back in again. Or I suppose we could use the loader. So yeah, you can go back out, and we will just rinse repeat on this for a little bit if you want. What time is it?
Yeah, sure.
Oh blimey, look at the time. So we'll see in a little bit when we've got a bit more in here. As you can see, this might be a little bit tight getting out of here. Actually, what I'll do, hang on, let me just help you. I'll show you what I mean. If I do this one, L1 and hide object, if I do that, take out that section of fence. If I do it again and do that, I can take out that section, so it makes it a little bit easier. You can come out of there and you've got a much smoother angle to get up the lane. And then what we can do, at some point, we can come back and we can just put the fence back in again. If you do it with hedges, if you cut the hedge out, you can't put a hedge back. But the fences and walls you can on this map, which actually helps quite a lot. So we'll carry on for a bit, and we'll see you in a little while. I don't know if we're going to compact yet, because we've got a lot of grass to collect. I'm just thinking time-wise, I don't know if we're going to have enough time to get it all done today, but the basic principle is the same. So what we might do is crack on with this, and then we'll finish off this episode later. Because I would like to compact it and cover it in this episode, but it's going to take a bit more time than I think we've got today. Right, I continue a windrowage. Do you feel like you've learned? Has it helped today?
I do, yeah.
Okay, cool. You're not just saying that.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Good stuff. Okay, right. Our first field is done. MrSealyp has moved on to the grass field. Blimey, you made that look easy. Got a couple of little bits to tidy up. Now this one's a weird one. This is the cow pasture. And when MrSealyp mowed this, I was doing some baling. So I'd finished, or I was nearly finished doing the ploughing contract for the McConnans. I started doing some of the baling contracts we took on, and MrSealyp was mowing. But then she had a call to go and do. So she went off to do her call. She'd finished this field, finished the other field. So I thought, right, I'll jump over here and I'll just finish off any bits she hasn't done. But when I came onto here, we'd finished our session, we came back in. This area in the middle, which is the pasture itself, had grass in it. And I thought, that's weird. How has MrSealyp missed the entire middle section of this field and hasn't cut it? So I grabbed the mowers and I cut it. Brilliant. Happy as Larry. Came out. A day or so later, came back in. We had some more bits to do off camera, and the grass was back again. I'm thinking, I don't understand that. I cut it. I think I cut it 3 times. The problem is, the grass that I cut was still underneath. As you can see, the swaths on here are absolutely insane. I take it you're full again, are you?
Yeah.
So MrSealyp has gone up the outside and gone up there. She's barely done, well, hasn't even done one circuit around the field, and she's full again. So this field, if you're looking for an inexhaustible supply of grass, it was completely by accident. Yeah, we've ended up with a load on here. So I'm considering, I've done all the windrowing now, I'm considering leasing a second forage wagon and helping MrSealyp. Also, MrSealyp and I just imparted some more wisdom, didn't I, MrSealyp?
Yes, it was one of those absolute gems that he could have told me half an hour ago, but didn't.
Right, as you all know, I'm not a big fan of swivel axle trailers. So a great way to deal with swivel axle trailers, if you're struggling with reversing with them, is to turn your tractor around or your vehicle around and use the front hitch on the tractor to move those vehicles. Well, MrSealyp was having a few problems reversing Just reversing a trailer. It's not, you know, when you've done it a lot of times, you've done it a long time, it becomes second nature. But as people find when they get caravans and stuff like that, reversing a trailer, if you haven't done it before, it can be a bit counterintuitive. So I said to MrSealyp, well, here's an idea. What you can do, and it works with swivel axle trailers, if you're struggling to reverse, turn your tractor around, hook up to the trailer with the front of your tractor, and see if that makes life a little bit easier. She did it, and said it did. So I think that's what she's doing now. You can drive out into the field. You've got plenty of room. You can turn around in the field and then come back in. So what she's going to do is swing her tractor around, attach to the front. Now, a lot of people say, oh, just reverse. Again, yeah, and the only way she'll get better at reversing is to do it more. I totally understand that. But she was getting a bit frustrated. So I said, you know what? If you find it frustrating, just turn your tractor around, hook up the front hitch. Because you've got far more control at the front end of the tractor, you can manoeuvre that around way easier. You won't have a problem. I think she's just having a coordination day today. I think that
I
might
am
just
having
be
a really bad coordination day.
It's not something I've really talked about very much at all, really, on my channel. I might have mentioned it once or twice, but MrSealyp has MS. You don't mind me telling people, do you? We talk about mental health and stuff all the time. MrSealyp has MS, and she has a lesion on her spine and one on her brain. She has, most days, she's one of these people, and we've tried very hard to be, she does things in spite of her illness, not because of. So she's not a person that says, I can't do that because I've got MS. What she generally says is, I'm going to do that even though I've got MS. So when we go to the Lake District, we go hill walking, we try and go up, you know, crags and various different things. Some days she has just a really bad day, and a really bad day can involve loss of coordination completely. If you turn the wheels to the left and drive forward, keep driving forward, keep to the left and drive forward, keep driving forward. Now get to a point you can reverse up, and then you can straighten everything up again. So if you reverse back now, you can turn the wheels that way, turn them to the right, and reverse up, there you go. And you can straighten up, and then you've got a bit more control then from there. You can back up a lot further, you've got a bit more room before you get to the... yeah, so she'll have days where her coordination is off completely. Hands, legs, feet, everything. Some days it's just her legs. She can have a really bad leg day. If she has a bad leg day, she can lose coordination to the point where she can stumble, she can fall over. She has to be incredibly careful up and down stairs if she's having a bad day, because basically what it means is it's to do with the what's it called on your
it's the coverings of all the nerves.
Right. The coverings of the nerve endings and the nerves and the signals from the brain to parts of your body. And on a bad day, the signals misfire. So her brain will be telling her one thing, and her body won't be receiving those signals. So she'll think she's lifted her feet a certain amount, and she hasn't. So she has fallen over a few times over the last few years. You know, it happens.
Oh, I fall over all the time.
You know, and it's that thing. You're not making what I showed you do look particularly good at the moment, are you?
No.
But anyway, so when we started off doing this, and MrSealyp was trying to hook up to the forage trailer up at the store, I was watching thinking, what is she doing? She wasn't doing lefts and rights properly. I was saying turn to the left, turn to the right. She was doing the opposites. So the best we can tell, she's having a bad MS day, because it's weird how her brain is telling her one thing but her body's doing something else. There you go. That was a bit easier, wasn't it? She got in there in the end.
It was.
So I thought, you know what? If she's having a bad day like that, this is an easy way to help with that to a greater or lesser degree. But anyway, so I just thought we'd talk about that, because I know people will say, you know, the only way you're going to get better, the only way you're going to learn is if you do it more. I totally understand that.
Absolutely agree.
But I think in light of what seemed obvious to me was the problem, she was getting more and more frustrated and more angry, and she just kept saying, I can't understand why this isn't working. And it's that kind of, because again, the other thing with the condition is that sometimes she doesn't realise it's happening, which I think was one of those things as well. So anyway, just thought we'd explain. Again, I always say not complaining, just explaining. This is what's happening. This is why we're doing it this way around. I'm going to go and grab a forage wagon and help her out. We've got a load off that field. We're going to get way more in this size camp than I thought. And I've also windrowed the field next to... I don't even want to look. I'm not going to look that direction. I've windrowed the field here as well. So we'll collect it all and we will see you. I mean, we might have to bounce into another day to finish off the recording of this because of... various commitments. We will see. I keep checking because it's that time of day when mods drop. If mods drop, So I have to keep an eye on it just in case they do, but nothing at the moment, so we'll keep plugging away.
Can I just say that the wheels on the trailer steer, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Yes, that's what I thought.
I mean, not horrendously, but again, small inputs, fine motor skills. I know I keep saying it, but it really is that's the thing you've got to nail. If you're accelerating too fast, if you're turning too sharply, you're going to get massive inputs and movements and swings in trailers. So you just have to take it very, very carefully, accelerate gradually, because you tend to be very jerky. You're either on off. It's like you just need to gradually accelerate. The triggers will allow you a gradual amount of acceleration, but it's just getting used to that control. That's all it is. Right, we'll see you in a bit. Well, there's a sight to behold. I was just coming back with the last 8,749 litres, and I was just about to say to MrSealyp, now comes the fun part. We can start compacting it, because I've been doing a little bit as we've been going along, so we can get the forage wagons on the back. Come back, and MrSealyp says, "Oh, I've already done 10% while I was waiting for you." All right, get you.
This is the easy bit because you don't have to drive in a straight line.
It probably helps that you don't. Yeah. What percentage is it saying? I haven't got my thing open.
66, but you're about to mess that up by dropping a whole load more. Right over the bit I've just compacted as well.
Yeah, it happens, doesn't it? We've got a load squashed out the front, haven't we? Why is that not unloaded? I've got 3 litres that it won't unload. Why? Okay, looks like that's going to be stuck. Oh, did that just drop that on the floor? You absolute...
Delta.
Yeah, so MrSealyp is compacting. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to whiz up the road. We are going to need to get a telehandler or a skid steer loader or something, aren't we, at some point? I think. For little things like this, for spills, and we're going to need something with a bucket, because what we're going to have to do is scoop this from the front in, because at the moment it's yeah, it's all spilled out the front. We need to get that back in. So once it's compacted to 100%, we can compact it. We can cover it, and we won't have a load sticking out the front. I don't think we're going to sheep in this episode, are we?
We'll do sheep next time.
We were also talking about
fun.
next episode. We need to talk about fertilising. We haven't talked about fertilising of fields or anything yet, because our grass fields that we've just cut all need fertilising. So we can talk about fertilising. We can talk about grass predominantly, because that's what we're going to be fertilising. Methods of fertilising, different ones we can choose, and you can pick which one you want to go with, and we'll do a bit of fertilising next one as well. But we just need to get this compacted, and then we can get this covered. But yeah, you've learned a few things in this one, haven't you? Well, I hope you have. So I'm going to go and grab that the McConnon's telehandler. I'm going to grab the Defender and whiz up in that, because it'd be quicker than walking. And we will see you when we're ready to blanket. I was going to do a whole thing about compacting the silo, but you're all over it.
I've watched you enough times, I think.
Cool. Oh,
I'm enjoying this.
I have to say, as I said earlier, having another person working with you, oh man, it makes life so much. It makes life so much more fun, but also it just speeds. It does. It just speeds everything up as well. So
Even
we
from
are.
as incompetent as me.
I got in trouble. I was unloading the last bits. I went and got the telehandler from the McGonnans. I was scooping all the stuff that was squashed out the front on, and I was getting in trouble because I was ruining her stats because she was at 100% compacted. What are we looking at now, MrSealyp? What does it say?
100%.
And how much is in there?
It's full of chaff.
What is
268,317 somethings.
litres?
Litres.
That's not bad, I have to say. Well, hey,
It's full of chaffing chaff.
You did a ton of the work. Go back onto the clamp. It gives you the option to you can blanket your first silo, MrSealyp. There you go. It's now covered.
Yay!
So it should say top left. It should say something. Fermenting silage.
Fermenting 0%.
Right. So that will now have to ferment.
On it.
So that should just compact it a bit more. So yeah, that'll need to ferment now, and over the next day or two, is it? I'm trying to think now. It depends how many days you're set on. That will go from chaff to silage, and then when you uncover it, you'll have silage under there. So we've got silage bales, but we've also got loose silage that can be used in this map. You can actually feed the cows silage. On most other maps, you have to use silage to make total mix ration to feed them, but on this one, you can actually feed the cows silage as an alternative if you want to. Or you can just take it and sell it, or you can do whatever you want. So today we have been silage clamping, grass cutting, silage clamping, windrowing, forage wagoning, few little top tips, tricks and things here and there along the way. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been brilliant. It's been great fun.
Yes.
Real
farming today.
Yeah, next episode we will get those sheep sorted out because we've got some more fields and some more bits we can cut. You know, I was saying as well about taking out that hedge so we can get to these trees and the grass underneath it. There's a wall here, which if we get some sledgehammers and stuff, we could knock this wall out here to give us access through from this field as well if we wanted to. So we have got some options for removal of various different hedges and fences, and we could take that entire fence out if we wanted to give us easier access around the barns as well. But so we have got options, but yeah, we need to look at fertilising next episode as well. So sheep and fertilising options. I'll talk to you all about that and what it means and ways we can apply our fertiliser. We haven't been getting. Someone asked about precision farming. I'm not going into precision farming with MrSealyp at the moment. She's learning the basics of the game and learning the game. Precision farming is another step on. I would absolutely say that's more in an advanced level. I can talk about it. We'll touch on it briefly and explain the differences a little bit, but we're not doing precision farming. This is just MrSealyp learning. I don't want to bombard her with information and stuff and then it gets overwhelming, and that's the whole point about this Let's Play, is to make it so it's not overwhelming, so it's fun, enjoyable, and that kind of MrSealyp can pick and choose what she wants to do as we're doing it. So that's kind of where we're at. So I hope you've enjoyed it. We have, haven't we? We're still enjoying it.
Absolutely. And next episode we'll go back and check on the bees as well. I want to see me bees.
Okay. It's 23 September 1. It's starting to lose the light. You can see it's fading a little bit, but it's a lovely place to be. You said the same thing I did when I was doing my map tour this morning, didn't you? We were doing all this, and what did you say? Where did you want to go?
I want to go to the Lake District.
Yeah. And the other thing I was saying as we were doing all this, I said to her, I've realised now, because it's always been that dream, if we win the lottery, we're buying a farm. And MrSealyp's always said, we'll buy a farm, we'll get some animals, you can get a tractor, you can drive it. And I said, I'm going to have to argue and fight for you over a tractor now, aren't I? And you said...
especially if it's a Deutz, yeah.
Yeah, MrSealyp said, if we win the lottery and get a farm, she wants her own tractor.
I do.
We have a convert. We have a convert.
Hey! I will go everywhere. I'll go down to the shops and do my shopping in the tractor.
big old trailer on the back just to get a bit of food shopping. But anyway, yeah, so that is the end of this episode. And we hope you have enjoyed it. We hope you're still enjoying it as much as we are. If you are, and if you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be our guest. Whatever you should choose to do.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye for now.